In the vast expanse of the Andromeda Galaxy, the Zorthos Empire reigned supreme. With a history spanning millennia and a territory encompassing hundreds of star systems, the Zorthos had long considered themselves the undisputed masters of their cosmic neighborhood. Their advanced technology, powerful warships, and unwavering loyalty to Emperor Zorlax had ensured their dominance for generations. It was a day like any other on the Zorthos homeworld of Zor Prime when the first signs of change appeared. In the grand palace of Emperor Zorlax, a young communications officer named Zorax burst into the throne room, his blue skin glistening with sweat. "Your Majesty," Zorax exclaimed, bowing hastily before the Emperor. "Forgive the intrusion, but our long-range sensors have detected an unknown spacecraft entering our territory." Emperor Zorlax leaned forward on his throne, his golden eyes narrowing. "Unknown spacecraft. What are its specifications and trajectory?" Zorax consulted his datapad, his hands trembling slightly. "It's unlike anything we've ever seen before, Your Majesty. Its size and energy signature are immense, far beyond our own warships, and it's heading directly for Zor Prime." A murmur of concern rippled through the gathered court officials and advisors. Emperor Zorlax held up a hand for silence, his mind racing with possibilities. In all his years as ruler of the Zorthos Empire, he had never encountered a potential threat of this magnitude. "Mobilize the fleet," Emperor Zorlax commanded, rising from his throne. "I want our best warships surrounding that spacecraft immediately. We must determine its intentions and show these intruders the might of the Zorthos Empire." As Zorax bowed and hurried off to relay the Emperor's orders, an uneasy tension settled over Zor Prime. The Zorthos had grown accustomed to being the most powerful force in their corner of the universe. The idea that an unknown entity could challenge that power was both alarming and intriguing. High above Zor Prime, in the inky blackness of space, the Zorthos fleet assembled around the intruding spacecraft. The alien vessel was a behemoth, dwarfing even the largest Zorthos warships. Its sleek, silver hull gleamed in the starlight, and strange, glowing blue lines pulsed along its surface. Aboard the Zorthos flagship, the indomitable, Fleet Commander Xyloth stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the viewscreen displaying the mysterious ship. As one of Emperor Zorlax's most trusted military leaders, Xyloth had faced many challenges throughout his career. But this situation was unlike any he had encountered before. "Open a channel to that ship," Xyloth ordered, his voice steady despite his growing unease. After a moment, the communications officer nodded. "Channel open, sir." Xyloth cleared his throat and spoke in a firm, authoritative tone. "Attention, unknown vessel. This is Fleet Commander Xyloth of the Zorthos Empire. You have entered our sovereign territory without permission. Identify yourselves immediately and state your intentions, or face the consequences." The bridge crew waited in tense silence for a response. Seconds ticked by, then minutes. Just as Xyloth was about to repeat his demand, the viewscreen flickered, and an image appeared that sent a collective gasp through the bridge. Staring back at them was a being unlike any the Zorthos had ever seen. It had pale, pinkish skin, small eyes, and a shock of dark hair atop its head. Clad in a crisp, white uniform adorned with strange insignia, the creature exuded an aura of confidence and authority. "Greetings, Fleet Commander Xyloth." The being spoke in perfect Zorthos, its voice calm and measured. "I am Captain Ilara Voss of the United Earth ship Prometheus. We come in peace, seeking to establish contact with the civilizations of this galaxy." Xyloth stared at the creature, this Captain Ilara Voss, in disbelief. In all the Zorthos' long history of space exploration, they had never encountered a species quite like this. The technology required to traverse the vast distances between galaxies was thought to be impossible, yet here they were, face to face with living proof of its existence. As the initial shock wore off, Xyloth found his voice again. "Captain Voss, your arrival here is completely unprecedented. The Zorthos Empire has no record of your species or your United Earth. What makes you think you can simply enter our territory without consequence? Captain Voss's expression remained calm, almost serene. We have no intention of causing any harm or disruption, Fleet Commander. Our mission is one of peaceful exploration and diplomacy. We seek to learn about the diverse civilizations that call this galaxy home and to establish mutually beneficial relationships with them. Xyloth's mind raced as he considered the implications of this encounter. The Zorthos Empire had always prided itself on its strength and dominance, but now they were faced with an unknown variable, a species with technology that surpassed their own. This united Earth, wherever it was, could pose a significant threat to Zorthos supremacy if not handled carefully. Your intentions may be peaceful, Captain Voss, Xyloth said, choosing his words carefully. But the Zorthos Empire cannot simply allow unknown entities to traverse our territory unchecked. You must understand our caution in this matter. Captain Voss nodded, her expression one of understanding. Of course, Fleet Commander, we have no desire to cause alarm or distress. Perhaps we could arrange a meeting between our respective leaders to discuss the situation further and lay the groundwork for a productive relationship between our peoples. Xyloth hesitated, weighing his options. On one hand, he was deeply curious about this new species and the potential benefits they could bring to the Zorthos Empire. On the other hand, he knew that Emperor Zorlax would be wary of any perceived threats to their power and influence. Finally, after a long moment of consideration, Xyloth made his decision. Very well, Captain Voss. I will relay your request to Emperor Zorlax and await his decision. In the meantime, your ship is to remain where it is, under the watchful eye of our fleet. Any attempt to leave or engage in hostile action will be met with swift retribution. Is that understood? Captain Voss inclined her head in acknowledgement. Perfectly. Fleet Commander, we will await your Emperor's response and look forward to the opportunity for peaceful dialogue. As the communication ended and the view screen went blank, Xyloth felt a mix of excitement and trepidation coursing through his veins. This was a turning point in Zorthos history, a moment that would be remembered for generations to come. The arrival of the United Earth ship Prometheus had shattered the Zorthos Empire's long-held assumptions about their place in the universe. Now, as they stood on the precipice of a new era, Xyloth couldn't help but wonder what the future held for his people and the enigmatic humans who had come so far to make contact. Only time would tell if this encounter would lead to a new age of cooperation and discovery, or if it would be the spark that ignited a catastrophic interstellar conflict. Whatever the outcome, one thing was certain. The Zorthos Empire would never be the same again. News of the alien spacecraft's arrival spread like wildfire throughout the Zorthos Empire. In the Grand Palace on Zor Prime, Emperor Zorlax paced back and forth, his brow furrowed in thought as he considered the implications of this unprecedented event. Fleet Commander Xyloth stood before the Emperor, having just relayed Captain Ilara Voss's request for a meeting between their respective leaders. The throne room was filled with a palpable tension as the gathered court officials and advisors waited for Emperor Zorlax to speak. This Captain Voss, Emperor Zorlax mused, his golden eyes narrowing. She claims to come in peace, yet she enters our territory without permission and with a ship that dwarfs our own. How can we trust her intentions? Xyloth bowed his head respectfully. Your Majesty, while I share your concerns, I believe it would be wise to hear what Captain Voss has to say. This united Earth, wherever it may be, possesses technology that surpasses our own. It would be prudent to learn more about them before making any decisions. Emperor Zorlax stroked his chin, considering Xyloth's words. And what if this is all a ruse? A ploy to catch us off guard and seize control of our empire? If that were the case, Your Majesty, Xyloth replied, they could have easily overpowered our fleet and taken what they wanted by force. Instead, they have chosen to approach us diplomatically. That alone suggests a genuine desire for peaceful interaction. The Emperor was silent for a long moment, weighing his options. Finally, he nodded slowly. Very well, Fleet Commander, arrange the meeting with this Captain Voss. But I want our best warriors and diplomats present, and our fleet on high alert. We must be prepared for any eventuality." Xyloth bowed deeply. "As you command, Your Majesty." Preparations for the historic meeting began immediately. The Zorthos flagship, the Indomitable, was chosen as the venue, with a delegation of the Empire's most skilled negotiators and military minds selected to accompany Emperor Zorlax. As the appointed time drew near, a small shuttle departed from the United Earth ship Prometheus, carrying Captain Ilara Voss and her own delegation. The shuttle docked with the Indomitable, and the human representatives were escorted to the Grand Conference Room, where Emperor Zorlax and his entourage awaited. When Captain Voss stepped into the room, the Zorthos delegation fell silent, their eyes widening in a mix of awe and apprehension. The human captain cut an impressive figure, her crisp white uniform, a stark contrast to the dark, ornate robes worn by the Zorthos officials. Emperor Zorlax rose from his seat at the head of the table, his golden eyes locking with Captain Voss's. "Captain Ilara Voss of the United Earth ship Prometheus," he said, his voice deep and resonant. "I am Emperor Zorlax, supreme ruler of the Zorthos Empire. Your arrival here has caused quite a stir among my people." Captain Voss inclined her head respectfully. "Emperor Zorlax, it is an honor to meet you. I apologize for any confusion or concern our arrival may have caused. As I explained to Fleet Commander Xyloth, our mission is one of peaceful exploration and diplomacy." The Emperor's gaze remained unwavering. "And yet you enter our territory unannounced, with a ship that surpasses our own in size and power. Surely you can understand our wariness." "I assure you, Emperor Zorlax," Captain Voss replied calmly, "we have no intention of using our technology for aggression or conquest. The United Earth has learned through its own history that cooperation and understanding between different cultures is the key to progress and prosperity." Emperor Zorlax leaned back in his chair, his expression thoughtful. "Tell me, Captain Voss, what does your United Earth hope to gain from contact with our empire?" Captain Voss's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. "We seek to learn, Emperor Zorlax, to learn about your culture, your history, your scientific and technological achievements. We believe that by sharing knowledge and ideas, both our civilizations can benefit and grow." The Emperor's advisors murmured among themselves, intrigued by the human captain's words. Emperor Zorlax himself seemed to be considering the possibilities, his initial wariness giving way to a glimmer of interest. "And what, in turn, can the Zorthos Empire expect from this potential partnership?" he asked, his tone measured. Captain Voss smiled warmly. "In addition to the exchange of knowledge, the United Earth is willing to share some of its advanced technology with the Zorthos Empire, provided it is used for peaceful purposes. We can also offer our assistance in areas such as medicine, agriculture, and space exploration." The Emperor's eyes widened at the mention of advanced technology. The Zorthos had always prided themselves on their scientific prowess, but the prospect of gaining access to knowledge and resources from a civilization that had mastered intergalactic travel was too tempting to ignore. "Your offer is intriguing, Captain Voss," Emperor Zorlax said, a hint of excitement creeping into his voice. "But I must ask, why choose the Zorthos Empire as a potential ally? Surely there are other civilizations in this galaxy that would also benefit from your knowledge and technology." Captain Voss nodded in acknowledgement. "You are correct, Emperor Zorlax. However, our initial scans of your empire revealed a level of technological advancement and societal stability that made you a prime candidate for first contact. We believe that the Zorthos Empire has the potential to be a valuable partner in our mission of peaceful exploration and cooperation." Emperor Zorlax fell silent, considering the captain's words. The opportunity presented by this unexpected encounter was vast, but so too were the potential risks. He knew that his decision would have far-reaching consequences for the Zorthos Empire and its place in the galaxy. After a long moment, the Emperor spoke, his voice filled with determination. "Captain Ilara Voss, on behalf of the Zorthos Empire, I accept your offer of peaceful cooperation and exchange. Let this be the beginning of a new era of prosperity and understanding between our peoples." Captain Voss's smile widened, and she extended her hand in a gesture of friendship. "Thank you, Emperor Zorlax. I look forward to working together to build a brighter future for both our civilizations." As the Emperor grasped the human captain's hand, a sense of cautious optimism filled the room. The Zorthos officials and advisors began to buzz with excitement, their initial apprehension giving way to a growing sense of possibility. Fleet Commander Zoloth watched the exchange with a mix of relief and anticipation. He knew that the road ahead would be challenging, as the Zorthos Empire navigated this new relationship with a species that had already proven to be full of surprises. But as he looked at the faces of his fellow Zorthos, Zoloth couldn't help but feel a sense of hope. The arrival of the humans had shaken the very foundations of their society, but it had also opened up a world of new opportunities and potential. And so, as the first tentative steps towards a new era of cooperation and discovery were taken, the Zorthos Empire prepared itself for the challenges and wonders that lay ahead. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: nothing would ever be the same again. The days following the historic meeting between Emperor Zorlax and Captain Ilara Voss, the Zorthos Empire buzzed with excitement and anticipation. The news of the peaceful agreement between the two civilizations spread quickly, sparking debates and discussions among the Zorthos people about the implications of this new alliance. Some were eager to learn from the humans and explore the potential benefits of their advanced technology. Others remained wary, concerned that the United Earth might have ulterior motives, or that the Zorthos Empire could become too dependent on their newfound allies. Emperor Zorlax, however, was determined to seize the opportunity presented by the humans' arrival. He saw it as a chance to not only strengthen the Zorthos Empire, but also to secure its position as a major player in the galactic community. To that end, the Emperor invited Captain Voss and her delegation to observe a demonstration of the Zorthos Empire's own technological prowess. The event was to take place on a remote moon in the Zorthos home system, where the Empire's most advanced weapons and defense systems were developed and tested. As the United Earth shuttlecraft descended towards the moon's surface, Captain Voss and her crew marveled at the sprawling military complex that stretched out before them. Sleek, angular buildings glinted in the light of the system's twin suns, while towering launch pads and massive energy domes dotted the landscape. Emperor Zorlax, accompanied by Fleet Commander Zoloth and a retinue of high-ranking military officials, greeted the human delegation as they disembarked. "Welcome, Captain Voss," the Emperor said, his golden eyes glinting with pride, "to the heart of the Zorthos Empire's military might." Captain Voss inclined her head respectfully. "Thank you for the invitation, Emperor Zorlax. We are honored to witness your empire's technological achievements firsthand." As the group made their way towards the central observation deck, Emperor Zorlax regaled the humans with tales of the Zorthos Empire's long history of military innovation. He spoke of the powerful energy weapons that could slice through the hulls of enemy ships like a hot knife through butter, and the advanced shielding technology that could withstand even the most intense bombardment. Captain Voss listened attentively, her expression one of genuine interest. She asked questions about the underlying scientific principles and the challenges the Zorthos had overcome in developing these technologies. Emperor Zorlax was impressed by the human captain's knowledge and insight. It was clear that the United Earth was not only technologically advanced, but also possessed a deep understanding of the scientific foundations upon which that technology was built. As they reached the observation deck, the Emperor gestured towards the expansive testing grounds below. "And now, Captain Voss, you will see the true might of the Zorthos Empire in action." At his signal, a squadron of sleek, black fighter craft rose from the launch pads, their engines humming with barely contained power. The ships moved in perfect formation, executing a series of complex maneuvers that showcased their agility and precision. Then, with a blinding flash of light, one of the fighters unleashed a beam of pure energy towards a distant target. The target, A massive asteroid that had been towed into orbit for the demonstration exploded in a shower of rock and dust. The human delegation watched in awe as the Zorthos fighters continued their display, each one showcasing a different weapon or defensive system. Plasma torpedoes, graviton pulse emitters, and quantum disruption fields were just a few of the technologies on display. Throughout the demonstration, Emperor Zorlax watched Captain Voss closely, gauging her reaction. To his surprise and satisfaction, the human captain seemed more impressed than intimidated by the Zorthos Empire's military capabilities. As the demonstration drew to a close, Captain Voss turned to the Emperor, her eyes shining with admiration. "Emperor Zorlax, your empire's technological prowess is truly remarkable. The United Earth has much to learn from your advancements in weapons and defense systems." The Emperor smiled, his chest swelling with pride. "Thank you, Captain Voss. The Zorthos Empire has always prided itself on its military strength and innovation. But as impressive as our technology may be, we understand that true power lies in how it is used." Captain Voss nodded in agreement. "Indeed, Emperor Zorlax. The United Earth has learned through its own history that technology, no matter how advanced, is a double-edged sword. It can be used to protect and defend, but also to destroy and oppress. The key is to wield it with wisdom and restraint." Emperor Zorlax regarded the human captain thoughtfully. "Your words ring true, Captain Voss. Perhaps through our newfound partnership, the Zorthos Empire can learn from your experiences and ensure that our own power is always used for the greater good." As the two leaders continued their discussion, Fleet Commander Zoloth watched from a distance, his mind racing with the implications of what he had witnessed. The humans had shown a level of understanding and maturity that he had not expected from a species so new to the galactic stage. Perhaps, Zoloth mused, this alliance could be the key to unlocking a new era of peace and prosperity for the Zorthos Empire. By combining their own technological might with the wisdom and perspective of the humans, they could become a force for good in the galaxy, a shining example of what could be achieved through cooperation and understanding. But even as these thoughts filled Zoloth with hope, he knew that the road ahead would not be easy. Change, especially on the scale that the humans' arrival promised, was always met with resistance and fear. There would be those among the Zorthos who would cling to the old ways, who would see the alliance with the humans as a threat to their power and way of life. And there would be challenges and obstacles that neither side could yet foresee, tests of their newfound friendship and resolve. But as Zoloth watched Emperor Zorlax and Captain Voss, deep in conversation and filled with a shared sense of purpose, he couldn't help but feel that they were on the cusp of something truly great. The future was uncertain, but it was also full of endless possibilities. And so, as the twin suns of the Zorthos home system began to set over the military complex, casting long shadows across the gleaming buildings and launch pads, Fleet Commander Zoloth stood tall and proud, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The Zorthos Empire had always been strong, but with the humans by their side, they could become something even greater. And that, Zoloth knew, was a future worth fighting for. In the weeks following the demonstration of the Zorthos Empire's military might, the alliance between the humans and the Zorthos began to take shape. Teams of scientists, diplomats, and military strategists from both sides worked tirelessly to establish the framework for a lasting partnership. For the Zorthos, it was an opportunity to gain access to the advanced technology and knowledge of the United Earth. The humans' expertise in fields such as quantum computing, nanotechnology, and gravitational manipulation promised to propel the Zorthos Empire's own scientific advancements to new heights. In return, the humans sought to learn from the Zorthos' long history of space exploration and their unique perspectives on the challenges of maintaining a vast, interstellar civilization. The Zorthos Empire's experience in diplomacy, resource management, and cultural integration would be invaluable as the United Earth continued its own journey into the stars. As the collaboration progressed, Emperor Zorlax invited Captain Ilara Voss and her crew to visit the Zorthos homeworld of Zor Prime. It was a gesture of trust and friendship, an opportunity for the humans to experience the rich culture and history of their new allies firsthand. When the United Earth ship Prometheus entered orbit around Zor Prime, the human crew was struck by the planet's beauty. Vast oceans of shimmering purple water covered much of the surface, while towering cities of gleaming silver and gold rose from the land like jewels on a crown. As the humans disembarked from their shuttle and stepped onto the surface of Zor Prime, they were greeted by a delegation of Zorthos officials, led by Emperor Zorlax himself. The Emperor, resplendent in his golden robes and flanked by his most trusted advisors, welcomed the humans with a deep bow. "Captain Voss, crew of the Prometheus," he said, his voice filled with warmth and respect. "Welcome to Zor Prime, the heart of the Zorthos Empire. It is an honor to have you here as our guests and allies." Captain Voss returned the bow, her own voice filled with gratitude. "The honor is ours, Emperor Zorlax. We are deeply grateful for your hospitality and the opportunity to learn more about your extraordinary civilization." Over the next several days, the humans were given a grand tour of Zor Prime's most impressive sights and achievements. They marveled at the soaring spires of the capital city, each one a testament to the Zorthos' architectural prowess and ingenuity. They visited the great library of Zor, a vast repository of knowledge that contained the collected wisdom of countless generations of Zorthos scholars and thinkers. The human scientists were particularly enthralled by the library's extensive collections on subjects ranging from astrophysics to xenobiology. But perhaps the most striking aspect of Zorthos culture was the way in which it seamlessly blended technology and nature. The cities of Zor Prime were not just sterile, lifeless structures, but rather living, breathing ecosystems that integrated advanced systems with the planet's native flora and fauna. Vast gardens and parks, filled with exotic plants and creatures, wound their way through the heart of each city, while advanced filtration and recycling systems ensured that the air and water remained pristine and pure. It was a testament to the Zorthos' commitment to harmony and balance, a philosophy that permeated every aspect of their society. As the humans spent more time among the Zorthos, they began to develop a deep respect and admiration for their way of life. The Zorthos were a people who valued knowledge, creativity, and cooperation above all else, and it showed in the way they approached every challenge and opportunity. For their part, the Zorthos were equally impressed by the humans' curiosity, adaptability, and determination. They saw in Captain Voss and her crew a kindred spirit, a species that shared their own thirst for discovery and their belief in the power of unity and understanding. As the visit drew to a close, Emperor Zorlax and Captain Voss met in the Emperor's private chambers to discuss the future of their alliance. Over a meal of exotic Zorthos delicacies and fine human wine, the two leaders spoke candidly about their hopes and fears for the future. "Our time together has only reinforced my belief in the importance of this partnership," Emperor Zorlax said, his golden eyes shining with conviction. "The Zorthos Empire has much to gain from the knowledge and perspectives of the United Earth, and I believe that together we can achieve great things." Captain Voss nodded in agreement, her own expression one of determination and resolve. "I feel the same way, Emperor Zorlax. The challenges that lie ahead of us are vast and complex, but I have no doubt that by working together, we can overcome them and build a better future for both our peoples." The Emperor raised his glass in a toast, his voice filled with emotion. "To the future, Captain Voss, to the alliance between the Zorthos Empire and the United Earth, and to the endless possibilities that lie before us." As the two leaders clinked their glasses together, a sense of hope and purpose filled the room. They knew that the road ahead would be long and difficult, that there would be challenges and obstacles that would test the strength of their bond. But they also knew that they had something special, a partnership built on mutual respect, trust, and a shared vision for a better tomorrow. And with that knowledge, they were ready to face whatever the future might bring together. And so, as the ship rose into the starry skies above Zor Prime, the humans and the Zorthos stood together, united by a bond that transcended the vastness of space and the differences between their species. They had taken the first steps towards a new era of cooperation and discovery, and the galaxy would never be the same again. As the alliance between the Zorthos Empire and the United Earth continued to grow and strengthen, news of their partnership began to spread throughout the galaxy. Other civilizations, some long established and others just emerging onto the galactic stage, took notice of this new power block and its potential to reshape the balance of power in the cosmos. Some viewed the alliance with suspicion and fear, seeing it as a threat to their own interests and autonomy. They worried that the combined might of the Zorthos and the humans would be used to dominate and control weaker species or to impose their own values and beliefs on others. Others, however, saw the partnership as a beacon of hope, a model for how different civilizations could work together to achieve common goals and overcome shared challenges. They were inspired by the way in which the Zorthos and the humans had been able to find common ground despite their vast differences in culture, history, and technology. As the debate raged on, the leaders of the Zorthos Empire and the United Earth worked tirelessly to address the concerns and fears of their galactic neighbors. They met with representatives from other species, sharing their vision for a future built on cooperation, mutual respect, and the free exchange of ideas. Emperor Zorlax and Captain Ilara Voss became the public faces of this new era of diplomacy, traveling to distant worlds and engaging in countless hours of negotiation and dialogue. They spoke of the benefits of collaboration, of the ways in which the unique strengths and perspectives of each species could be harnessed for the greater good. And slowly but surely, their message began to take hold. More and more civilizations began to see the value in joining the growing network of alliances and partnerships that the Zorthos and the humans were building. Trade routes were established, scientific collaborations were formed, and cultural exchange programs were launched. For the first time in the galaxy's long history, it seemed as though a true, lasting peace might be within reach. The old animosities and conflicts that had divided the cosmos for so long began to fade away, replaced by a newfound sense of unity and common purpose. But even as this new era of cooperation and discovery dawned, there were those who sought to undermine and destroy it. Some were driven by greed and the desire for power, others by ancient hatreds and prejudices that refused to die. One such threat emerged from the depths of the Outer Rim, a region of space long known for its lawlessness and danger. A powerful warlord, a ruthless tyrant who commanded a vast fleet of warships and legions of fanatical followers, began to sweep across the galaxy, conquering world after world and crushing all who stood in his way. The warlord, who called himself the Overlord, saw the alliance between the Zorthos and the humans as the greatest obstacle to his dreams of galactic domination. He knew that if he could break their partnership, if he could sow discord and mistrust among their allies, then nothing would stand in his way. And so the Overlord launched a campaign of terror and destruction, targeting the worlds and outposts that were most vital to the Alliance's strength and stability. His armies, augmented by advanced weapons and technology stolen from the civilizations he had conquered, seemed unstoppable. But the Zorthos and the humans would not be so easily defeated. United by their shared values and their unwavering commitment to the cause of peace, they rallied their allies and launched a counteroffensive against the Overlord and his forces. The war that followed was long and brutal, a conflict that tested the resolve and the strength of every species that fought in it. The Zorthos and the humans, once again, found themselves on the front lines, leading the charge against the Overlord and his minions. In battle after battle, the Alliance proved its mettle, its ships and soldiers fighting with a courage and determination that inspired all who witnessed it. The Overlord's forces were pushed back, his conquered worlds liberated, and his schemes for galactic domination thwarted. In the end, it was Emperor Zorlax and Captain Voss who struck the final blow, leading a daring assault on the Overlord's stronghold and capturing the tyrant himself. In a moment that would be remembered for generations, the two leaders stood side by side, their weapons trained on the Overlord, as he knelt before them in defeat. "Your reign of terror is over," Emperor Zorlax declared, his voice ringing with righteous fury. "The galaxy will never again bow to the likes of you." The Overlord, broken and humiliated, could only nod in submission, his dreams of conquest and domination shattered beyond repair. In the aftermath of the war, the alliance between the Zorthos and the humans emerged stronger than ever. The trials and sacrifices they had endured together had forged an unbreakable bond, a connection that transcended the boundaries of species and culture. As the galaxy began to rebuild, as new alliances were forged and old wounds were healed, the Zorthos and the humans stood at the forefront of a new era of peace and prosperity. Their partnership, born of necessity and nurtured by trust and understanding, had become a symbol of what was possible when different civilizations worked together for the common good. And so, as the United Earth ship Prometheus once again set out into the stars, ready to continue its mission of exploration and discovery, Captain Ilara Voss and her crew carried with them the hopes and dreams of an entire galaxy. They knew that the challenges and wonders that lay ahead would be greater than anything they had faced before, but they also knew that they would not face them alone. For the Zorthos Empire, the humans, and all the other species that called the galaxy home, the future was bright with promise and possibility. And as they looked out into the vast expanse of space, they knew that whatever lay ahead, they would face it together, united by the bonds of friendship, trust, and a shared vision for a better tomorrow. The end.